I don't know about you, but for me, I don't look at preference as hate. I've never looked at preference as hate. Now, of course, under the jurisdiction that you can have your preference, right? But that doesn't mean that you should be, you should be mean to the other person who might not be your preference. If you get what I mean. But I don't view preference as hate. I think people are allowed to have their preferences, especially when it comes to dating. Now, why do I say this, right? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. Basically, a friend of mine just got married. He's black, he's Nigerian. Um, his wife is his wife is white, and he just got married recently, like 2 months ago. I mean, if that is well, that is still recent, right? So, when I was having a conversation with a female friend of mine, and I was telling her how the wedding went well, was nice, and blah 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 blah. And basically, she focused on the part that, oh, like, oh, he married another black man, bites the dust, that type of thing. Like, so he didn't see any black woman to get married to. Um, he had to go for the snow and blah blah blah. You know the whole rundown of conversations like that. And I was telling her that what is the problem? What is the problem? And this my friend has, for the longest that I've known him for, he's dated more white women. Now he's dated black women as well, but he's dated more white women, and that is his preference. And that comes from where he grew up, right? Where he grew up is more white dominated. So it's a more white dominated area, and down to the schools he went to growing up. So white women have always been his preference, and I've never for once heard him like talk down on black women or anything like that, right? He's dated black women before. So I feel like even the way I'm saying it makes it seem somehow. But hey, if that's how you are assimilating it, then hey, go for it. But my point is that he's dated more white women than black women, and he just got married to a white woman. And this my friend I was talking to, my female friend, she centered the whole conversation around, oh, why do why do black men like going for white women? They colorism, they hate their mothers, and all this rubbish. So, which is the reason why I'm talking about this, right? It just, it was something that was reoccurring in my mind. And like I said, for me, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. There's nothing wrong with having a preference, and preferences um, branch out to multiple things, right? We can't, if we are going to have a preference for one thing, we have to have a preference for all, you know. So in the case of dating, a woman might say that her preference is 6 foot, 6 foot and above. You understand? Now, some people might be like, yeah, but that's different. No, it's not different. It's not different. It is still a preference, right? So if a woman says, "Oh, my preference for guys is 6 foot and above. Anything lower than 6 foot, I'm not doing." That does not mean that she hates guys that are below 6 foot. She might have even dated guys that are below 6 foot. However, she prefers guys that are 6 foot and above. And that could be for different reasons. Maybe for her, um, it's more aesthetically pleasing for her to be with a guy that's 6 foot and above. You will see girls that are 5'2" saying that their preference is 6'3" and above. You understand? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't bash the one that is not your preference. So that is really, man, like preference does not mean hate. A lot of people translate preference as the hatred, as hatred for the thing that is not preferred. And that is not necessarily true. People have their preferences in different things, you know, in food, in the movies they watch, in sports, in the clothes they wear, and different and so on and so forth. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, man. Preference does not mean the hatred for the other. People are allowed to have their preferences in whatever, and that branches out to dating. You know, somebody's preference might be, oh, I prefer dating white girls, or I prefer dating white guys. I've met black women that their preference is dating white guys. Does that mean that they haven't dated black guys before? No. Does that mean that they hate black guys? No. Does that mean that they hate their brothers at home, or their dads, or their uncles? No. Their preference is just white guys, and that could be, maybe they feel like uh, white guys are more romantic, white guys are more this, white guys are more that. So based on those criterias, that is how they built their preference for who they like, and ain't nothing wrong with that, as long as, again, you don't bash the one that you don't have preference for. So that's it, my preference isn't hatred. That is basically what I wanted to say. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good YouTube stuff, and until next time, peace.